What's your name?
Sydney Brown.
And how old are you?
I'm 25, unfortunately.
Unfortunately, why?
I'm getting old. Like I'm like halfway there to 30.
Oh my god. I'm 26, so don't make me feel crazy. So Sydney, who are you on a soul level?
Who am I on a soul level? Honestly, I never thought about myself on a soul level. I'm so always into the mental aspect. Like, just like, how can I explain this? Like, I could never connect with my soul as much as I would want to, because I'm always worrying about my goals and like getting to like what I need to do in life, or kind of thinking outside of that. I'm always looking at like meeting certain requirements that you should in life instead of connecting with like who I am myself. You know what I mean? But I feel like on my soul level, I think I'm very accepting. I'm an accepting person, as well as I'm always like trying to have that warm feeling around people and make people happy, because at the end of the day, like, I feel as though, especially with who I am, I'm one of those people who like, I kind of don't think about myself a lot of times. I think about others, and what I'm trying to work on is kind of like thinking more about Sydney at this moment.
Yeah. Okay. Is there anything that's going on in your life right now, or that has happened, that's made you the person that you are today, or that's like had a hand in how you process things?
I think the biggest thing for me probably is I have a general anxiety disorder. I was diagnosed like back in college, but I feel like the reason why I never seen it as a kid is because I was always active and doing stuff, where that anxious feeling was kind of like depleted due to the fact that I was always doing sports or had to think about other things going on. So now that I don't do sports, I'm not as active as I used to, all that energy kind of just like stays, and it makes my mind kind of like keep going or thinking about things that a lot of normal people probably don't think about. Like sitting here, I'm probably thinking about 20 other things that I shouldn't even be thinking about at the moment.
I do that, so it's fine.
Yeah,
it's cool.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna give you 3 categories, and I want you to tell me what means the most to you and what means the least to you, and you can mix and match if you want to.
Okay.
So the first category is love, sex, and relationships. The next category is society, culture, and politics. And the third is spirituality and or religion, because those don't always go hand in hand. So you can mix and match if you want to, but which one of those things kind of stands out to you as like most important in your life?
I think the most one is like religion, because with my anxiety, I do rely on God a lot to help calm me. Throughout nursing school, I actually prayed every day to allow him to give me patience throughout life. Like, I asked for patience, I asked for strength, because there's days that I didn't think I would make it to the next day or have the strength to get to the next day, because I allowed my anxiety overcome me, where I kind of would have an anxiety attack. I think that was a big one with religion. I think another one for me will probably be relationships, because I feel as though with a relationship, not just like, it could be family, it could be friends, it could be a significant other, but I feel as though if you find a good group of people in your life, they can help you or support you through it, especially if I could be myself around them. I never would feel like I have to hide that aspect of me and my mental issue. I can be more open and talk about it. And then you said love.
Yeah, love is in there.
I think everyone wants love. I think we're natural human beings who desire someone to love us, and that can be from childhood. Like, the first thing a kid learns is trust and love. And if they can't trust their own parent, they can't trust anybody else growing up. And I learned that in school. So it's like the biggest thing is like, for us, I think love is a big thing in our life. We need love. We want love. We always going to desire to have that. But I think a lot of times people take love to a thing where it's like it only could be a significant other. Because you can get love from other places. You can get love from yourself. You can get love from like your friends, family. And I feel as though if you find that, sometimes that can help complete you. But some people don't. And some people think of only getting love from another person or like the opposite sex. You know? And that's something like I feel like everyone has to go through and like grow from. It's just like, love is not always one street or one way. It's not always like you only can see love. It's like, it's not black and white. You're not always gonna find love through its opposite sex. You can find love through your friends. You can find love through your parents. You can find love through your sister and brother. Just to fulfill you to that point where maybe one day you will find that person, but I feel like people allow it to consume you where you have to find it, where they lose their self in the process of finding it.
Facts.
So So I don't know, like that's a big thing. I think those are like things like religion, relationships, and love are kind of a big aspect where, you know.
So how do you feel about society and culture and politics? Like, where's your head at with that?
Unfortunately, I'm not great with politics. I had to take a policy class, and I don't know how the hell I got an A. Like, I don't know. I sat there and thought, like what? I literally can't tell you the difference between a legislative branch to executive branch, isn't there?
Yeah.
That's right. So, like, I'm really bad with that. I'm not gonna lie to you. Like, I learned it just enough to kind of to get an A in the class. But as far as like put into real life, I'm probably the worst person to talk to.
Yeah.
I always learned that there's certain things you don't talk about in a workplace or with people you're not close to, and one of them is politics.
Yeah.
So I always refrain from talking about it because I don't know what the hell I'm talking about. But the thing is that with politics, I think it is important to know somewhat what's going on and who's running for presidency or who's running in certain like roles, because politics doesn't just doesn't affect just, how I say this, certain like rules and regulations out there. It also affects your health, because I had to take a health policy class, which I learned about government, and the government has a big play on how our healthcare is given to us, and that goes down to your own health. Like if our government right now, our government's healthcare sucks, and that's because the way our rules and regulations are made, we're not getting the healthcare we need. So I feel as though it is important, because especially since I'm not great at it, I did put myself out there to understand the importance of understanding healthcare policies and rules and regulations, and how me as a healthcare provider can advocate or join certain boards or like certain like associations and make an impact. Also, I think with our government, like finances, I'm really big on, like, the thing about finances is these student loans are some shit. Like, there's so many like other countries that send their students because they know at the end of the day they're sending their students to get an education. They come to America and get an education because they know when they come back to their country, they're putting it back into their country's wealth.
Right.
And they're growing the country and making them better.
Exactly.
Our country is basically surviving on the rich is getting rich and the poor is staying poor.
Yeah.
And no matter what you do, you're never going to get to where you want to be. You're always going to want more money. That's just gonna how it is. Like, you're never going to have enough money because it's not meant for us to go through this different socioeconomic classes. We're not supposed to do that. That's not going to happen. But
right.
I feel as though we had some people in power who have been able to give us somewhat of like a move up or somewhat of a hope to get to that point. But then I feel as though as soon as something changes that's too drastic for a lot of other people, they want to go back to the 1980s or 1960s to basically kind of calm down, because people aren't ready for change.
Facts.
But our government's never going to grow. Our country is never going to get where it needs to be if we have the same rules and regulations. So I think politics is important, but I'm going to tell you the truth, I'm not great at it. But I understand that it is something you have to listen to, especially when you're voting. That's a big impact. You need to vote. Yeah. Because no matter what, like, unfortunately with the whole Trump thing, Trump never won. But because he had the Russians.
And the electoral
vote, he won, but technically Hillary won. And that's an accomplishment for us, that we got somebody else who is another drastic candidate into power, could have been in power if, things didn't go the way it did.
Right.
So that's just showing that we are changing, our nation is changing, our thoughts are changing, we're evolving. But it's just going to take time. But you definitely should get into politics, because that's how we can change things. What else is there? You said something else. What's another one?
I think that was it. Love, sex.
Sex. I don't know. I grew up in a household where you don't talk about sex, so I'm never very as open as I should be.
Yeah.
And I think that also grows a point where you become self-conscious when you have sex yourself. So I see where I'm very like self-conscious with sex, with people with sex, and like I'm not very as sexually open because of how I was raised. Like, you're not really supposed to be open about it. My parents were really old school. Yeah. And I feel like when I grow up, when I have kids, I'll probably change that, just because I want my kids to be open with me, and I want my kids to be comfortable with sex and like talking about sex and be able to come to me and stuff like that. So I don't know, like, I'm just not very as open about it, but I do eventually want to. It's kind of one of those things, the comfortability has to get there. Right.
Okay. I think we covered everything in those categories, so I'm going to make you draw now.
I have to draw. Oh.
So basically, you're going to draw throughout the entire interview. So I just want you to pick...
One color?
No, you can pick as many as you want.
Okay, I'm just going to say.
I want you to pick colors that mimic your mood right now, who you are as a person, and then you're going to tell everyone why you picked the colors that you picked.
Okay. Okay.
So I'm seeing you're starting with teal. Why teal?
With teal, the reason why I'm choosing this is because I'm in a really weird mood. I'm kind of in that mode where I don't know what my future is going to hold in these next couple months. My future comes down to a damn test, unfortunately. And if I don't pass this test, then I'm not going to be making money like I want to make money. And that makes me really sad. And I'm just kind of, but teal's also a really nice color too. So I'm like in the middle where I'm like, I'm hopeful that I'll pass the test. But I'm also like in the mood where I'm like, I don't know. So that's why I'm starting with teal. And then it's just like a pretty color. I like it.
Okay. Well, as you pick other ones, then I'll ask you why you picked them.
Okay.
Okay, so the first question, while you draw, what makes you the most upset?
I think what makes me most upset is just people who don't understand me. I think I've always been judged by my outside appearance or how I talk or how I hold myself. People don't really get to know me or try to get to know me, or they kind of like already put up a stereotype of who I am.
Tell everyone where you're from.
I'm from Bethel, Pennsylvania, unfortunately. Just kidding. I love that place. I would not change where I grew up at. I just don't think I would grow up as an adult there, but as a kid growing up there, I think they provided what you needed as a child. Like I got that typical life where I did rec sports. I had like been to school with the same people since like almost elementary school. I was kind of sheltered. I didn't see much as a kid. So when I came to Baltimore, it was a very big culture shock for me. What else is there?
That makes you upset.
But yeah, I think the biggest thing is for me is just like people who don't truly understand me or not giving me the chance to be myself or kind of like get to know me, kind of just misjudging me and just like kind of putting up that wall immediately.
What is it that you want people to know, like on site? Like if there was an automatic way for people to know something about you, like because they're obviously, I guess, misunderstanding you in a specific way, which is like what makes you upset. So like what exactly do you want people to like know?
I want them to know that I'm a good person at heart. Like I'm always gonna look out for the best in you. I may not be straight up like open about it, but I might be a very blunt person. But in the day, like whatever I say to you is more because I care, or more because of I'm a truthful person. I feel like people deserve to hear the truth a lot of times. And I'm not gonna like bull crap you. Like the thing is, like I really am your friend. I got you to the day and back. Even if I'm mad at you that day and you call me, you need me at 3 o'clock in the morning, I will get out of my bed and come get you because that's who I am. But I also would tell you at the same time you're crazy and you're being stupid. Like I'm not gonna like sugarcoat anything with you. Yeah. I also want people to know that like I'm very, how do I say this? I can be very sensitive at times. Like even though it may come up that I'm like very standoffish and to myself and I'm not really going to social, it's probably because I have a guard up because I already know how you are perceiving me and it's not how I want to be perceived. So a lot of times I wouldn't open myself up to someone because I know they already have that judgment about me and they're not trying to get to know me. So I kind of have that stubbornness where I'm like, then there's no point for me to talk to you because you already have what you think about me in your head and you're not willing to open up. So I'm very a different type of breed because I call myself an introvert extrovert. I'm very extrovert, but I'm also an introvert at times because I like to be to myself. I like having my time to myself, and it's kind of like when I'm an extrovert, I kind of use all my energy. So when that energy is depleted, I just need time to kind of heal. And I think people get confused because they're like, "Wow, she's different. She's funny acting." It's not that I'm funny acting. It's just that's my personality. I'm recharging. I need that time. So like I'm not always gonna be on 100. I'm not always gonna be a 10. But like how do I say this? I am a kind-hearted person. I'm not trying to be rude or blunt when I'm trying to take my time away. It's more of like I'm just trying to give myself time to recoup, or I'm trying to be honest with you of how I feel.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't know. I felt like a little confused when I was talking about it.
No, but it made perfect sense. What makes you happy?
I think what makes me happy is just having. I'm a big person I love to laugh and I love to make other people laugh. So if I can make someone laugh, it kind of like gives me a little bit of joy where I'm just like, all right, I can continue laughing. Because my biggest thing is, like I said, I do sometimes may come off as like I don't care, but at the same time I do care because I'm a very caring person. I want other people to be happy. I want other people to succeed. I want other people to get to where they need to be as a person. And I don't want to wish anything upon anybody. Like, I would be there for you today and back. Like, if you need me to support you through some way, I got you. Or if you have a test, like, I'm the type of friend, like, you'll have a test coming up or you have something coming up and you may have told me this a month ago, but I'll still remember it and text you like, good luck, you got it. You know,
you're attentive.
I'm attentive, but at the same time, if I notice that it's not reciprocated, I kind of give that back because I have trust issues. I don't trust people because I feel like I always get misjudged, or people kind of like take advantage of my niceness because I am a super nice person, or people don't want to get to know me. They kind of only see one side of me, or they don't really want to take the time to talk to me. But yeah.
Explain to me what social media is to you.
Stress. Social media is where you can figure out where people are. I feel like it's a way where people can connect, even though they're never connected in person, but you know each other because you guys probably went to the same school or went to the same, or going through the same things, or kind of like have the same interests. Like, I met a lot of people on social media through like that were nurses, and I would ask them like, oh, how did you do this? How did you do that? And it helped me kind of like, they gave me tips, you know what I mean? So it can help you that way. But also I feel like social media kind of makes you want to compare yourself to other people, you know?
For sure. I see you pick pink. What's up with pink?
I don't know. I like pink, and I'm about to just like write my name out. So I'm just going to do pink. Yeah, I like pink. Pink's one of my colors. I don't know why. It just brings comfort. And it's just like that girly color. I like pink. I don't know, it looks good on my skin color. I don't know, it's just my color. And I always hated pink growing up. I like thought I was a blue because I was like such a tomboy, but then I just let pink kind of flow, and it's just, as you can see in my room, it's like in my room, it's like a spot of pink somewhere in my room. It's always gonna be something pink in there because it's just comfortable. I don't know.
Yeah, no, I get that.
Oh yeah, so I always liked pink because of, I don't know, it's just like something, you know, like one of those things where you can't explain why you like it, you just happen to like it. That's literally what happened. I literally picked one day. I was like, you know what? F it. I don't really like blue. I like pink. And I'm going to start putting pink in my room or getting stuff that's pink. So I just kind of started, and it just stuck.
Yeah. And you're allowed to make decisions like that.
Exactly. And it's like, it's a certain pink. I like this color pink where it's like kind of like a highlighter neon pink or a very light pink. I don't like certain pinks. No.
Okay.
Yeah.
What don't you want to tell people but know you should share because it would help someone else?
Like,
what do you usually feel uncomfortable about talking about or sharing about yourself, but you know somebody else probably feels the same way or thinks the same way, so you should probably say something to show them that they're not alone?
I think the one thing will probably is, I think a lot of people talk about it, and I think a lot of people don't bring it up, but it's just like, I think the biggest thing for me is like I said, don't judge a book by its cover, because you never know what someone's going through. I'm always coming in, you'll always see me like smiling, happy-go-lucky, but there was times when I had depression and I literally was thinking about days of killing myself. Like, that is something that I don't tell people that, and I don't like opening about it because it's something that I'm kind of like self-conscious about, because it's like, that's a dark spot and you don't want people to know about it. But a lot of people will see me like, oh, you're always smiling, you're always happy, like there's nothing wrong, and there was things going on, and I was just smiling because at the same time, like, you have to put it on a face. You don't want everybody in your business. You want things going, and like there was times where I just didn't want to make it to the next day. I didn't see myself getting to the next day. I didn't see myself, and it was hard because I did that. It happened through college, like undergrad, and I just sometimes felt as though like, why am I here? Like, what was the point of me being here? Like, I felt like I was nothing. Like, I don't deserve to be here, or I felt as though like my life wasn't important, or like nobody cared. And that was a dark spot to be in. Yeah. That's a very dark spot to be in. And like, I just remember a day where I was like literally tempted to just take pills and just die. And it's sad to say that, but it's just like, people don't know what someone's going through, because a lot of times people do put up that front and they're like happy-go-lucky and they don't want people to know. But I feel as though sometimes you shouldn't take that as a granted. Like, get to know the person, get to see what's going on with them. Don't always just judge a person like, oh, your life is perfect, you don't go anything. Like, I literally sat in front of like a bottles and was like, I'm just gonna take all this and just die. Like, I don't want to be here anymore.
What kept you here?
I think what kept me here was just like, honestly, I don't know. I still don't know. And that's the scariest thing, because every day can be a roller coaster for me where I'm like, why am I here? Like, what is going on? But I don't have depression anymore. I think the biggest thing is like, my ultimate dream is to be a nurse, like be a nurse practitioner and try to push for non-pharmaceutical methods of treatment, because when I went through depression or went through my anxiety and I was first like diagnosed with it, I was given drugs. I was given drugs to basically make me less anxious. I still have, and the thing is, I will talk to you later, but it's just like, the thing is that when you're given those drugs, they say it takes 4 to 6 weeks for you to get used to it. And I think it's not that the drugs aren't working immediately. I think it's the fact that it takes you 4 to 6 weeks to get used to how the drugs make you feel.
Right.
And I hated how I feel. Like, those weeks I hated. I literally sat there and I was like, I don't feel nothing at all. Like, I don't feel anything. And I like kind of had to look at my flaws and be like, is my flaws the drugs basically are more good than harm? And I sat there and I was like, you know what? Without my anxiety, I don't think I would be who I am today, where I'm driven.
Right.
My anxiety pushes me to study for a long period of time. My anxiety pushes me to go out there and do things. I actually suffer with social anxiety. And like, a lot of people don't know that, because they're like, you're always social, you're talking.
Yeah.
And a thing is like, when you have generalized anxiety, any situation can trigger your anxiety, where I can be talking to someone and I'm like thinking about the next thing to say so I don't fuck up or I don't make it weird.
Right.
And I'm not really in the conversation. I'm more of like thinking like, okay, what should I say next so they don't think I'm a weirdo? Or what should I say next so they don't think I'm crazy? And that's a sad thing to have. So like with anxiety, I always think about the next step, or I always think about, did I say those things wrong? Or did this person think of me this way because of what I did maybe last night? And it's a sad thing to have, because I'll wake up from going out with my friends or going out and then meeting somebody new or just doing something, and I'll wake up the next day and be like, oh, and I'll start thinking about everything I've done, where, oh my God, they might think I'm this, or I might think that, or I might think that, where I'll start going, like just thinking about everything possible bad situation, because my anxiety does that.
Yeah.
But I think the biggest thing is like finding coping skills.
Right.
Because drugs, I don't like them. I didn't like how they made me feel. Like, some people, it may help them. And I think a lot of times you shouldn't. I feel like it depends on you. It's a personal preference. For me, I just try to find other ways. Like, I do deep breathing. I try to do yoga. I try to stay like active.
How old were you when you first like were given drugs to handle like your anxiety? And
my first time I had anxiety, first time I got diagnosed with anxiety, I was 20.
Okay, so you were basically
it's pretty like 5 years ago. It just happened. But I didn't know the certain things I was going through high school was because of anxiety. I never put it together, because when you're active and you're doing because a lot of times anxiety is because your mind's literally sitting there and just thinking constantly, like it's just going. But because I was so active in high school, I didn't have time for my anxiety to take over my life.
Right,
so a lot of times I was had an outlet where I'm like, okay, I have basketball practice, I'm not even thinking about it, or I have to do this, and I didn't think about it. Like, I was constantly busy, so it helped me. But then once I got older and didn't have as much going on, or even just like little worries, like now with nursing school, my anxiety has been through the roof. I have noticed it so much more, but I try not to do drugs and find other ways to deal with it.
Yeah.
But going back with like the depression thing, like I think the biggest thing for me is like, the reason why I never went through with it is because I just feel as though like I have more to give. Like, I knew my personality, I know who I am, and I feel as though I'm here to do something. I don't know what it is at the time, but I knew God put me on this earth to do something. And then when I found healthcare and I found nursing, I noticed that me just coming in and making a patient smile makes my day, and it makes their day, because it's just like they feel comfortable, they're happy. Like, just making them laugh can lighten up their day, because this person might be going through something where they just got a terrible diagnosis, but me coming in there and just talking to them and easing them may have eased their mind, where they're like, okay, I'm a little bit more comfortable, like I'm okay.
Yeah.
I just know in the end, like, no matter what, like, I feel as though I'm here for an impact, and I feel as though God put me here for a reason, and I just don't know what exactly where I'm going to end up, But I just know like where I'm at right now, I think I will make a better impact here versus just kind of like giving up and like, you know, like just not going through with it. So it's like one of those things where you kind of have to see what your purpose is. And like, and a lot of times religion helped me through it because like I said, I would pray to God every day to be like, give me the strength to make it to the next day. Give me the patience. Give me the like, let me overcome these obstacles. Like, you know, calm me down. Like, and that's just, I think one of those things, like, it's just how to find what is for you. Like, what helps you get through the next day, or what helps you, you know, be who you are. What helps you make sure that you're here and you're, like, alive. It is a dark thing to think about because I do cry sometimes. I'm like, why was I like that? Why did I think there was no good? But I think, like, one of the things is, like, you never know why you were like that. You never know why your brain was kind of chemically like that. You may have had backgrounds, like, had, like, things happening in your back of your life that you're not ready to talk about, but it's just, like, in the back of your head when that time does come, you'll know why it happened. But I think it was just a lot of things just kind of all together, like, just always, just what I've experienced in life kind of got me to that point. I'm not comfortable with saying it now because I haven't been comfortable talking about it, and like I feel as though it's something I'm still working through. But it is something where I'm gonna say, like, if you're just don't judge a book by its cover because you never know what that person's going through. They can have a smile on their face, but the next, like, they can go home and feel like, you know what, I'm about to take this bottle and just kill myself. And that is a real thing. That people are really like that. Like, I'm an example. Like, there's days where I was just like, I don't want to do this anymore. I don't want to be here. I remember one day I was so depressed that I literally was at college, so depressed, so alone, felt like I had nobody, and I literally got on a train and went back to Pennsylvania to be with my family because I couldn't do it anymore. And I went to my doctors, and that's when I actually was diagnosed with severe depression with anxiety. So yeah.
Well, thank you for sharing that.
Yeah, it's sad. I don't like talking about it because it's just one of the things where you don't talk about your weakness. But I feel like a lot of people should know that, like, there's people out there, like, who you probably like, oh my God, that's nothing ever happened to her, or she's fine, like, she's doing great. But there's days that were dark. There are dark days, and everyone probably had their dark days, you know?
Most of us have a killer mask.
Exactly.
We can hide it.
Exactly. Everyone has dark days. And I think a lot of times back then my anxiety kind of was really bad to the point where I started thinking I'm like a bad person. I'm terrible. I'm not, like, my anxiety was like kind of triggering that depression. So getting your anxiety under control, like, I still have flaws in my anxiety, but I have friends I could talk to about it, which is great. My mom literally will sit on the phone while I'm crying and just be like, there, she understands. Like, it was so funny because yesterday she's like, I just need you to take this test so then I can just calm down because I'm getting anxiety from you. Like, I can't do this. She's like, I need a break from all this test and stuff. Like, I understand you have anxiety, but I need a break. You're stressing me out.
That's so funny.
Because she just literally sits on the phone and allows me to just, like, talk
and cry.
Exactly. But then she'll be like, I told you you're fine. And it's just always how it is. But I can tell days when she gets sick of it, but it's just like having someone you can vent to or having someone you can talk to about your anxiety and stuff like that can actually help you through it.
What do you feel will restore connection in our generation?
I don't know. Like, our generation is very weird. Like, we are one thing I do admire about our generation, we are very independent people who have different minds. Like, we're not robots where we all think the same, we all have the same morals. Like, we're very accepting of different people and their different mindsets and different cultures, which I'm very happy about. So I feel like it's hard to figure out what could help our society because we're evolving. We're very powerful. Like, the millennials are a very powerful group, and we are very, like, open-minded. We're pushing for things that, like, our grandparents would never have thought would have happened. I think the thing that might help us is just, like, taking a minute from social media or what's going on and just, like, taking a break and figuring out what's going on around us. Because I feel like we're so on social media and we're trying to think about what someone's doing across the country instead of figuring out what's going on here in this area. Like, I think one thing is just, like, if you look at dating, like, people date people in different countries. Like, that was crazy. Never heard of back in the day. Like, maybe once in a while when, like, people travel there, they may have met someone, but that was never heard of, like, never meeting someone and wanting to marry this person. Like, as soon as you meet them, that's weird. You know? But because we have social media, we have internet, we have technology, we're able to do that. But I feel as though a lot of times we forget about what's in our area, and we kind of be like, well, I can have that over there, so why would I care about what's going on here?
Right, exactly.
So I feel like a lot of times we need to like stop figuring out, like thinking about what's going on over there or what's going to happen there, and figure out what's going on in our own area or what's going on in our own city or state, and kind of connect with people within our city or state, because we all have so much in common because we're from the same area, we experience the same things, we may have had the same problems or something like that, and that can help us because
right.
when you're in the same area as someone, you might have a lot of similarities, you just don't know it because you're not willing to open up.
Right. Or talk.
Or talk, because if you think about
all.
it, what's one thing we do when we all go out? We're all on our phones. Like we're sitting there on our phones and not even trying to talk to anybody new. And I think that's the sad part, is like, why go out when you're only gonna stay within the same group of your people,
right,
and stay on your phones and talk to someone who's probably all the way in another country or in another area, and you have someone like probably have like 5 people in front of you that is probably could be your best friend.
True.
You know, I don't know. I think that's one thing, just kind of getting disconnected, because when I'm like when I'm going through a big studying phase and I'm just trying to focus, I actually delete all my social media. I just get disconnected.
That's good.
A lot of people probably would think I don't do that, but I actually stay disconnected. I don't even have Instagram on my phone as we speak.
What?
Yes, Instagram or Snapchat. I don't have any social media on my phone. I have an app that allows me to study, but I have no social media on my phone right now.
How do you feel?
I'm not gonna lie, I'll go on Instagram and just look, but I like it because like it's not the first thing I'm looking at. It's not like when I wake up I'm not looking at my phone, or when I'm out with my friends I'm connecting with them. Not really
you're
looking
actually
on.
present.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So I think it helps with my presence. Like of course you're gonna have that little night where you're just sitting there and you're like, you know what, let me see what's going on. So I'll like go on the internet and be like, okay, whatever.
Yeah.
But I don't have the app where I'm like, it's easy accessible, where I'm like, oh, on it every 5 seconds, because I notice where I am. So I kind of got off of that. I probably will download it once I pass the exam. But I think when I am off of it and I like kind of take time, it shows that like there's so much going on, or there's so much I can do, or so much I can like just relax and not compare myself to other people. Because I think with social media you always compare yourself to like those supermodels or those Instagram famous people, and be like, her hair is this, I'm gonna have my hair like that, you know?
Yeah, for sure.
But it allows you to connect, like, what is it? Because I don't have social media and sometimes I'm bored, like I'll like just go in my sister's room, like, what movie are we watching? And I'll just watch movies with my sister. And
see, that's sweet.
Yeah, so or like when I'm home with my parents and I'll go home and stuff, and if I don't have social media I'll just be like, let's go do stuff, like come on, come with me to the store, or like I'll just like sit there and watch movies and stuff. So I think sometimes social media gets us disconnected from what's going on around us at the moment, but it also can be beneficial where we are connecting with other people who are like us, who are fighting for something, you know? I feel like social media made a big presence where all these things that are going on with like companies who are doing racist things, social media allow us to have a voice.
Yeah, and it allows us to see what's actually happening,
going on.
People film everything.
Exactly, and I feel like a lot of times, like half the stuff we're seeing now went on for generations, just that now it's more accessible for us to see it.
Right.
So yeah, that's a cool thing.
And the last question, what do you have to say to the world?
I think the biggest thing I have to say for the world is take a breath. Just breathe, take a breath, and just kind of like take in the moment. Because I feel like sometimes we allow, like I am a problem for that too. Like I feel as though we're going so like 100 miles per minute in life, where we're trying to get to like our next goal or to our next accomplishment. And a lot of times we do that a lot of times to show off on Instagram. You know what I mean? Don't get me wrong, I probably am going to post when I get my RN, but at the same time, it's just like we do that because we're trying to get to the next goal and next accomplishment, instead of admiring what we have accomplished so far. And I think that's something I have to learn, because I don't take a breath. I don't think about, okay, what have I done so far? Like, I need to just stop and just think. But it also makes it great because our generation is so motivated. It's great to be around people that's like you too, you know?
Yes.
So it's just one of the things where it's like, if you have a moment, take a breath. If you are where you want to be, or you're, because like technically in my profession, because I do have a master's, I'm like, I could just stop school if I really wanted to.
Yeah.
Because a lot of nurses only have bachelor's degrees and they still get good jobs and they still can get higher up jobs. But I just don't see myself stopping. But at the same time, take a breath, figure out what you want. Because I have people tell me like, what do you want to do next? And I'm like, honestly, I just want to breathe. I just want to figure out what I want to do in life, what I want to go. I just want to enjoy life, because I never had a time to enjoy life. I think I took off of school. I graduated in December, and I literally went back that following fall to school. I only had a semester off from school, from undergrad to grad. So So I think right now I just kind of want to enjoy life and, you know, take that breath and just figure out what's going on and actually acknowledge my accomplishments.
Yes, acknowledge your accomplishments.
Exactly. Yeah.
Thank you so much for doing
girl.
this.
No problem.
Let's see what you drew.
Wait, it's not done.
I know, nobody ever finishes. It's fine.
Okay.
Yay! It's your name.
Yeah, it's my
I
name.
need you to sign it.
Okay. Do I have to sign it even though it's my name?
I mean, yeah, because I have another Sydney in there.
Oh, you do?
Yeah,
Oh,
and she's also from Bethlehem.
Seriously?
Yeah, and
Where
I think
Bethlehem?
I told you that. I don't know.
I think
gotta
you did
ask
tell me about
but
her.
I told you. That's why when I met you, I was like, what?
That's so weird.
And her last name is Bickford.
Oh my
so
God,
y'all are both Sydney B's from Bethlehem.
I was gonna put a B. I want to put Sydney. I guess I gotta write my whole name. Okay. That's awesome. That's crazy. I thought I said I met a Sydney one time. I was really young and I just don't remember what she looked like. This is Sydney